Hello, Arise family, friends, and fans. Thank you for joining us for a special evening of streaming consciousness on Arise Online with Yaima at Colorado Sound Studios. Tonight's show features a dynamic lineup of world-class folktronica music, dance, exclusive interviews, giveaways, and virtual hangouts. Whether you're catching the show at a watch party with friends or watching the show from the comfort of your home, we're glad to have you with us tonight. Our featured artist, Yaima, is a Cascadian folktronica music duo based in Seattle, Washington. Members Maz and Pepper have often been described as timeless and unmistakable, offering a balanced synergy of both the feminine and masculine expression. Inspired by Mother Nature, Yaima's musings encompass the listener with driving and revitalizing organic rhythms, transcendent electronic production, warm, soothing female vocals, and heart-and lyricism. Tonight, we're joined together virtually in support of sustaining live music and reforest areas burned by wildfires in Colorado. Arise and Yaima are thrilled to share that we're partnering with One Tree Planted to plant a tree for every donation made tonight. So, to help support, give an amount that's comfortable to you. You can find the link in the comments or check it out on the bottom of the screen, Venmo at Arise Music Festival, and help us spread the love and support our community. And please, help me welcome to the stage, Yaima. right, Maz and Pepper, you've been reaching fans from across the world for over 5 years now, but I'm curious about how your paths first crossed and how you originally came to play music together.
Well, I think we first met in 2012, was it? And it's just like through our Seattle ecstatic dance community, and we both had separate projects going on. You know, Pepper had her folk project, and I had kind of a weird shamanic jam band project. And eventually we were like, let's try to merge the two and see what happens. And the first album came out, and it was kind of an experiment at that time.
Well, as the experiment grew, you know, each album you create has a specific intention and acknowledgement for the elements, right? Water, wind, fire, and earth. And I'm curious about how that came to be such an integral part of your music and this project, that commitment to nature.
Yeah, it kind of came out of a road trip that we took together. After we first met, we kind of started jamming a little bit, and then we both went down to California to work on a farm. And just being in a car for 10 hours straight, you have a lot of time to kind of dream things up. And we wanted to create a project that wasn't just about us. It was something that we could continue to return to for inspiration and just keep going with and build this overarching story over what we're creating. So it's not just one single album here or a single there. It's like a journey that we're on, and then we get to kind of evolve through with our music and see. And each element, it's interesting how each element really kind of comes into our life when we're working on it, because you start to study it. You start to pay attention closer to the water, and pay closer attention to the wind and the air and what the messages are that are coming through, and fire, and now earth we're working on.
So did the farm inspire anything specific from that experience? Did we hear in any of your music?
Our first song actually we wrote together was called Reservoir. And it's funny because on that road trip, the only instruments we brought for some reason was a little, what is that thing called?
Like a kalimba.
Oh, nice.
Kalimba and a mandolin.
A mandolin, which we both weren't really good at playing it, but we're just, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You had 10 hours in a car. Why not?
Yeah.
So I am curious to hear how your diverse backgrounds have helped to create the sound of Yaima, right? You guys have a very organic sound, but that electronic, transcendent production and your just heartened lyrics are so powerful. So how have your backgrounds individually come together to create Yaima?
You know, I have a love for world instruments, and growing up in Okinawa, I was, you know, surrounded by the cultural music there and the instruments, and I just fell in love with the spirit in them. So it just kind of opened, that was a doorway to learning and wanting to learn about other instruments around the world, and kind of like wanting to know how to capture the spirit out of that instrument. So that was kind of the beginning of my collection of weird instruments. And then also like piecing together like hardware, electronic hardware to see like what would happen. And that was just like, I love the joy, or I find joy in experimenting with that. And that was the beginning of my production.
Well, my background's in Appalachia. So growing up in West Virginia, and my grandma was a boogie-woogie piano player, and had, like, as you walked into her house, it was all instruments, like the first entry room. And, you know, that style of music, folk Americana, Appalachian music, is really all about story. It's about like having these traditional songs that we carry with us to remember life's lessons. And so just kind of playing off of those themes and how the world is becoming one right now, no doubt. It's interesting now that, you know, when we met, it was kind of like this really, like both worlds from both sides get to meet kind of in the middle in Seattle, and just bring what we have together in a way that's new and a voice for many people, you know, people who grew up in different countries and people who grew up here in the States, and well, yeah, we're just bridging.
Yeah, kind of telling the story of like our times and whatever's showing up during these times, which is pretty powerful right now. So
thank God for music to be able to keep telling the stories. I grew up in the similar area in Eastern Tennessee, and so it was like Sacred Heart music, I remember, still was a part of our culture and the telling of story, and that's how we learned a lot of, I don't know, how my family still told stories. So I'm glad to see that we're still carrying that tradition forward. So thank you. So you'll be playing a few songs from Earth Trilogy for us tonight, including Nuclear and Intuition. And I had the honor of being able to listen to these songs earlier and was immediately taken to this place of seeking guidance, the search for peace in the midst of chaos. And I was wondering about this message that you created in these two songs, what that message meant to you and what you were trying to convey to us listeners that are enjoying each one of these.
Well, Nuclear Fusion came out of the studio, just working together during the shutdown, the first shutdown in March of 2020, and of just observing what was shifting and how people were showing up and what topics and themes and how we're being led through this media circle, and taking what we could from it, and putting it into the story, and how can we craft this as a time capsule for what's going on right now and what we're experiencing and what our friends and community and the people we're in close contact with are experiencing too.
Yeah, I don't know, for me there was a feeling of stillness during that time of when we first were all in quarantine, and it's like, what's going to happen next? So it's just like we're all waiting in a way, and I feel like that song really has that energy. It's kind of like we're there, we're present to what's going to happen next.
And then Intuition was written actually for a friend who was going through a hard time, and kind of with that feeling that we all need to be needed, and we do need each other. We're not gonna make it through this without each other. So it's just kind of, and turning to ancient ways of life and study and things that keep us connected to the earth, to really kind of bring everything back around, bring it back home, bring it back to the heart, try to get out of the mind so much and out of our phones so much, and just back to meditation and walks through the forest and simple conversations with friends, not texting, but just sitting and talking and healing our hearts in that way.
Desire
All right, so I wanted to ask about the song Spiral. Can you tell me about the lyrics for this song, please?
So a lot of our songs have what's called animal speak. I was traveling in Chile and I was an exchange student, and I had a mentor, a voice teacher there, who taught me that you don't have to have words to create emotion. And the words actually are only creating the emotion because the emotion's already there. So Spiral, like many of our other songs actually, is just an emotive instrument from the human body. And everybody can do it. It's really fun. It's just all made up. It's imagination.
All right, Pellucidity? Okay, you say it.
Pellucidity.
Okay, that was created for the water and, as I understand it, the peaceful being inside of us all. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so can you share what inspired the title track from that album? And I'm also curious, like, in that sense, did the lyrics come first or the melody?
The lyrics came first, right?
Yeah. So we were just talking about this in the car over here, because that song kind of came out of West Virginia when I was living there, and it was an old song that I just couldn't ever figure out where it went. Like, it didn't actually have a place. And then when I met Moss and we started jamming together, he kind of had this song already formed and the words fit right in it. So it was just kind of like the perfect timing and space, and everything just lined up. So it was like, okay.
So you spoke earlier about Yaima creating bridges. And that's something I think about, right? Y'all creating bridges between humankind and nature. And I'm wondering if this past year, as we were isolated from others, if that changed your connectivity to nature, just the isolation from others. You know, that bridge almost I don't know if it got broken for us, but it seems like there was a gap.
I'd say for me, it really kind of brought me back to being present to my surrounding. I live in the forest setting, so it was a really peaceful experience. Just reminding me like how important it is to like make space for that.
All right, so what is life like behind the curtain for Yaima? You know, when you're not on the road or not on tour?
Having fun.
Yeah, having fun. We're always dreaming of the next thing, like how to refine our craft and our intention and what we want to put out there in the world, and yeah, just having fun with it, really.
Yeah, just trying to continue to get better at our craft, refining what we know and learning more and growing and playing outside and eating really good food and laughing a lot.
So are there any new projects that we can look forward to in 2021, or any upcoming tour dates or virtual experiences even?
Yeah, definitely. We're really excited about this virtual reality VR experience that we've been working on with a good friend in Vancouver, Brian Goodwin. And it's going to be a project that's going to evolve through time, but this first rendition is a recording from the Ceremonia album. And it's going to be, you know, the live experience plus a collaboration with Simon Hayduk. Am I saying that right? Hayduk? Sorry. His stuff is going to come to life behind us or in front of us, actually. So you can kind of just really be in the whole experience of his amazing visuals.
It's going to be cool. It's like you put on the goggles and you see the concert as it was recorded in this recording studio similar to this. And then you turn around and you're in this immersive world. What else do we have coming up? We're planning a tour. Yeah, we're planning a tour. And we're working with a new app called Light to help us kind of figure out where we should go and how many people in each city are interested and how we should go about, sticking with safety and precautions and making sure that everybody is taken care of in the way that they need to be taken care of. And yeah, learning how to step into the future with these new rules and regulations and styles of doing things. Trying to be creative, trying to just work with what we can do.
Right. What I think is amazing is throughout all of this is just how much attention you take to the people that love your music, to your fans and listeners, how they digest music, how they want to engage with you on the road. And so just how absolutely beautiful that two people are so dedicated not only to the craft of music, but also the fans that are listening to it. So I know that we're seeing that tonight here at Arise Online and Colorado Sound Studios. So I just really want to thank you so much for joining us and participating with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. creating concrete visions of a microcosmic prism with a brilliant optimism, appropriate ambition to be open from the center, redirected to the moment. This is it, love. This is it, love. This is it, love. Yeah, we just want to take a moment to thank Colorado Sound Studios for hosting us here tonight, and Arise Online. Also, really just want to thank our community and the people who've really showed up for us this year. You guys are the best. We love you.
So we are so grateful for all of our partners who continue to support live music, our artists, venues, and festivals like Arise. Through creative collaborations and strong partnerships like this, and with the support of viewers and our fans like yourselves tonight, we can continue to help push the limits of live music and to bring online streaming experiences straight to you at home. Until we can come together again, thank you to Colorado Sound Studios, Mint Talent Group, Sierra Nevada, Westword, Rocky Mountain Virtual, and SharedViews Media for making tonight possible. And hey, check us out on Monday. We're making a fresh announcement, Earth Day. Let's celebrate. Let's continue to have a great time together online. But go to arisefestival.com or check us out on Facebook, and we'll let you know who the new artist and the new experience is coming to you. Thank you so much. We can't wait to see you again. Have a great night.